Eala earns it the hard way from love 3 down first set. Lefty shape, stubborn defense, and smart claycraft to outplay the 31st seed, Wang Xinyu, under the statues. 6-4, 6-3 in an hour and 26 minutes. She avenges her semi-final Auckland loss, where she fumbled match point in January to Wang and rolls into the Rome third round.
Alexandra Eala didn't merely beat Wang Xinyu in Rome today. She absolutely destroyed her. She dismantled her so completely, so ruthlessly, and so methodically that the entire global tennis establishment is now officially on high alert around the world, reacting with stunned disbelief and fear spreading across circuits now. Stop what you are doing and listen to me closely. We did not just witness a tennis match at Italian Open tonight. We witnessed an absolute execution. An unseated 20-year-old Filipina stepped onto the iconic red clay of the Nicola Pietrangeli Stadium and completely humiliated the 31st seed in the world. 7 breaks of serve, 0 double faults, straight sets. Forget the hype, forget the predictions. The Alexandra Eala era has not just arrived, it has kicked the door off its hinges, and it is terrifying. If you stand in the center of that historic Roman stadium, close your eyes and tune out the roar of the Italian crowd, you can almost hear the echoes of ancient gladiators. This is not just a tennis court. It is an amphitheater carved from red dust and marble, surrounded by towering neoclassical statues that look down upon the competitors like silent judges of history. In this arena, your past achievements mean absolutely nothing. World rankings are reduced to meaningless numbers on a piece of paper on the heavy, suffocating red clay of the International Biennale d'Italia. There is nowhere to hide. You cannot rely solely on raw, flat power. You cannot just serve your way out of trouble. You can only survive through lungs that burn like fire, legs that refuse to give out, and a mind forged in absolute unbreakable steel. Today, Alex proved she possesses all three in terrifying abundance. To truly comprehend the sheer shocking magnitude of what transpired on the dirt of Rome today, you must first understand the bitter, painful history between these two warriors. This was not their first encounter. The scars of their previous battle were still fresh, still stinging. Earlier this season, under the scorching Australian swing, the two athletes collided in the ASB Classic semi-finals in Auckland. On that stage again. In that match, Wang Xinyu used her towering physical presence and devastating flat ground strokes to edge the Filipina prodigy in a heartbreaking, nail-biting 3-setter finish there. 5-7, 7-5, 6-4. It was the type of agonizing defeat that leaves a young player awake at night staring at the ceiling. The kind of defeat that forces you to question your tactics, your physical strength, and your very place at the elite level of tennis. Wang Xinyu arrived in Rome sitting comfortably inside the world top 35 rankings list. After receiving a bye in the opening round, the 24-year-old Chinese star entered fresh, fully rested, and heavily favored by every analyst to overpower the young Filipina once again there. The narrative was already written. The experts had made their confident predictions. Wang was supposed to hit right through heavy court, dictate baseline rallies, and send Alex a packing back to the practice courts again. But the experts forgot one crucial, undeniable variable. They forgot about the clay. And more importantly, they forgot that Alexa is a graduate of the legendary Rafadal Academy. The red dirt is not just a playing surface for her. It is her second home. It is the canvas upon which her left-handed masterpiece is painted. When the players walked onto the court, the physical contrast was stark and immediate. Wang Xinyu, tall, imposing, built to generate effortless, crushing power on fast, hard courts. Alexa, more compact, deeply athletic, possessing a lower center of gravity, perfectly engineered for the grinding, sliding, agonizing demands of elite clay court tennis. The umpire called play, and from the very first strike of the yellow ball, it became chillingly apparent that Alex had not come to Rome to simply compete. She had not come to just put up a good fight. She had come to exact total merciless revenge. Let us dive deep into the statistical anatomy of this destruction. Because the numbers from this straight set's 64-63 victory read like an absolute horror story for the Chinese star. Statistics are often described as the cold, unflinching truth of professional sport. They strip away emotion, strip away bias, and leave only undeniable combat facts. In this match, those facts revealed a level of tactical dominance from Alexa that felt staggering for a 20-year-old against a heavily favored seeded opponent. The battle was decided in brutal trench warfare on the return of serve. On Rome's slow clay courts, the first serve loses its venom almost instantly. The surface grips the ball, buying returners precious time to step in and attack. Alexandra Eala quickly understood she could neutralize Wang Xinyu's biggest weapon completely. Throughout the match, she produced 11 breakpoint chances through relentless pressure. But under Grand Slam-level tension, execution is what separates contenders from champions. She converted 7 of those 11 breakpoints, dismantling Wang's service games repeatedly. 7 breaks in a 2-set match is not victory, it is psychological collapse. Eala read Wang's serve like a simple storybook, anticipating every toss and motion. She stepped inside the baseline early, striking deep returns at the opponent's feet. That constant pressure shattered rhythm before rallies could even begin properly forming. Wang Xinyu's confidence eroded under the relentless clay court assault from Eala. Statistics never lie on clay, and today they told a story of total control, rising pressure, and a young player transforming expectation into dominance, leaving the court in silence as Rome witnessed a shift in power that no ranking could fully capture in real time, fully reshaping how the tennis world now views her moving forward now. The Chinese star, desperate to find control and free points, started overhitting shots consistently now. She landed 73% of her first serves in play, a highly respectable figure on the professional tour under pressure today match. Yet here lies the statistic defining this entire match truly. That number will forever haunt Wang. Chinese star won just 36% of her first serve points here. Let that sink in for a moment. The 31st seed in the world managed to win only 36% of points when her main weapon landed exactly where she wanted it to. Why? Because Alexandra Eala's defense was an impenetrable, frustrating fortress. Every single time Wang tried to flatten a forehand and drive it through the heavy court, Eala's exceptional footwork allowed her to slide perfectly into position, drop her racket head, and brush up the back of the ball, sending heavy looping topspin deep into the corners again and again now. Wang was forced to play extra shots after extra shots. Her lungs burning, patience rapidly evaporating inside. Eala accumulated a massive 37 receiving points won, completely suffocating the Chinese players' service games from first minute to last period now. But a great return game is meaningless if you cannot protect your own serve. And it is here in her own service games that Alex demonstrated a level of maturity and discipline that should terrify the rest of the WTA Tour. Consider the intense pressure of the environment. The swirling Roman winds throwing dust into the air. The roaring, passionate Italian crowd. The heavy weight of facing a seeded rival who beat you just months prior. In this chaotic cauldron of stress, Alexa committed 0 double faults. 0. Not a single one across 2 highly competitive sets. Her service motion was a picture of fluid, repeatable perfection. She maintained a brilliant 76% first serve percentage, constantly keeping Wang off balance and preventing her from teeing off on the return. Yet, the true masterpiece of Eala's performance lies in the most critical high-pressure statistic in all of clay court tennis, the second serve win percentage. When a player misses their first serve, they are incredibly vulnerable. The opponent steps in, the tension rises, and matches are often decided by who blinks first on the second delivery. Wang Xinyu buckled under this immense pressure, winning a dismal 40% of her second serve points. But Alexa did not merely survive the storm. She turned into hurricane. Every single time Wang broke, Alexa immediately broke right back. She refused to surrender a single inch of momentum. She used her vicious Nadal-style topspin forehand to drag Wang completely off the court, opening angles, blistering down the line winners with relentless clay court pressure again now. Despite for Wang's heroic efforts to stay in the fight, Eala's sheer volume of breaks secured the chaotic first set 6-4. As the second set began, the psychological damage inflicted on Wang Xinyu became clearly visible now. Her shoulders dropped, her footwork grew heavy and slow. The 31st seed was drowning in a sea of red clay and Filipino topspin pressure. The second set was no longer a contest. It was a masterclass in court geometry. Aya went on a terrifying run, winning 4 straight games and completely breaking her opponent's spirit. She won 6 consecutive points at her absolute peak, dictating tempo with rhythmic, relentless precision of a metronome right now. The statistics show that Aya won 63 total points to Wang's 51 and she won 12 games to Wang's 7. It was a methodical, surgical, and deeply impressive dismantling of a top-tier professional performance. Match point became a perfect microcosm of the brutal battle that had unfolded. Eala, showing ice-cold composure of a seasoned 10-year tour veteran, built the final point with absolute precision. She served wide, dragging Wang out into the doubles alley. Wang lunged desperately, floating up a weak defensive slice back to the middle of the court. Aya did not rush anything. She used small, quick adjustment steps, planted her feet deep in the Roman clay, and unleashed a ferocious inside-out forehand winner that left Wang frozen on the baseline. The scoreboard delivered the final, undeniable truth 6-4 6-3 game set and match to Alexandra Eala. The stadium erupted in applause, yet Aya's reaction remained chillingly calm. A raised fist, a nod toward her coaching box, the quiet, terrifying satisfaction of an athlete who has completed her mission. When you watch Alex Eala play with this kind of ruthless efficiency, you are not just watching tennis. You are witnessing the result of thousands of hours of unseen sacrifice under immense pressure. You are witnessing a young woman who at the tender age of 13 packed her bags, kissed her family goodbye, and left her home in the Philippines to move across the world to Spain. She traded the comforts of a normal childhood for the grueling, solitary, blistering life of an elite tennis prodigy. She bled on the practice courts of Majorca so she could conquer grandest clay courts of Rome. But there is a much deeper layer to this victory. A profound emotional weight that Wang Xinyu did not have to carry. Every single time Alexandra Eala steps onto a tennis court, she is not just playing for ranking points. She is not just playing for prize money. She is carrying the massive hopes, the dreams, and the desperate pride of over 100 million Filipinos. In an archipelago historically obsessed with the hardwood courts of basketball and the blood-stained canvas of boxing rings, Aya has single-handedly carved out a space for tennis in the hearts of her countrymen. When she plays, Manila's busy streets suddenly fall silent. The jeepneys gradually slow. Millions of people tune in watching this young left-handed star carry their national flag onto tennis' biggest stages worldwide now. She is more than just an athlete in Philippines. She stands as massive trailblazer. She is beacon of absolute possibility itself. She proves that with enough grit, enough sacrifice, and enough heart, a talent from Southeast Asia can stare down towering giants of global sport in the eye and force them to blink. Let us examine closely the biomechanics behind what makes Alice so dangerously effective on this particular surface right now. Clay court tennis is an art form demanding a highly specific physical and mental profile balance. When a tennis ball strikes a hard court, it skids and speeds forward. When it lands on clay, the loose surface grips the felt of the ball, slowing it dramatically and forcing it to jump violently upward. For a right-handed player facing a left-handed opponent like Aya, this produces a geometric nightmare. Aya's forehand struck with a Western grip and extreme racket head speed produces thousands of revolutions of heavy topspin per minute. When that heavy ball lands on Wang Xinyu's backhand side, it does not simply sit there. It jumps upward, often rising dangerously above Wang's shoulders. Hitting a clean, powerful backhand from above shoulder height is one of the most physically demanding, uncomfortable, and unnatural shots in the sport of tennis. By relentlessly targeting this specific vulnerability, Eala slowly and methodically dismantled Wang's offensive capabilities. It was not just about hitting the ball hard. It was about hitting the ball with intelligence. It was a physical manifestation of a chess grandmaster slowly trapping her opponent's queen in a corner. And what about the brutal psychological warfare of the breakpoints? In professional tennis, a breakpoint is a moment of pure concentrated stress. The server feels the walls closing in, knowing one unforced error will surrender the entire game away completely now. The returner feels massive adrenaline surge, sensing blood in the water rising quickly now. Wang Xinyu endured 11 of these agonizing high-pressure moments alone. Imagine the intense mental toll of standing on the baseline, the hot Roman sun beating down heavily on your shoulders, the crowd buzzing loudly with anticipation, and looking across the net to see a 20-year-old opponent who simply refuses to miss a single ball. Every single time Wang thought she had produced a clean winner, Ella was already there, sliding into corners, returning the ball with even greater intensity once again now. It is a suffocating, terrifying feeling. It is the feeling of fighting the ocean. You can punch the waves all you want with all your strength, but the tide is always going to come back. Alo is the tide today. Relentless, unforgiving, absolute inevitability. The importance of her serving statistics cannot be overstated in this pressure-filled moment here. 0 double faults. Let us repeat this again because it remains the cornerstone of this monumental victory itself today. 0 double faults. When serving to protect a fragile lead against a top player, the arm becomes incredibly heavy instantly now. The mind begins wandering slightly. You think about dire consequences immediately right now. The service toss drifts slightly off. The swing tightens and the ball clips the very top of tape net. But Eala's mind remained locked in a state of absolute flow now. She trusted her mechanics implicitly. Her 76% first serve rate meant she constantly started rallies on favorable terms all the time here. She dictated the crucial first strike, preventing Wang from stepping inside court and taking massive cuts on return early constantly. By completely neutralizing Wang's aggressive return positioning, Eala essentially disarmed the dangerous Chinese player before rally truly began under pressure now. Even when Wang managed to drag Eala into deep exhausting 20-shot rallies, Filipina's superior conditioning showed brilliantly on court today. Training intensely in Morca under the blazing Spanish sun prepares any player for the brutal physical demands of the European clay court swing like almost nothing else on earth. The Rafa Nadal Academy builds a philosophy of suffering into every session. You learn to accept the burning in your lungs. You learn to embrace lactic acid flooding your legs. You learn that pain is simply weakness leaving the body. In the second set, as the match passed the hour mark, Wang's movement grew visibly slow and heavy. She stopped chasing down well-disguised drop shots entirely. She began reaching lazily for balls instead of taking extra painful steps. Eala, meanwhile, looked like she could play 3 more full sets. She bounced lightly on her toes between points. Her eyes were wide. Her focus stayed razor-sharp. The 31st seed was outworked, outlasted, and outclassed in every physical metric. The match became a living demonstration of endurance, discipline, and complete clay court dominance from start to finish. Let us take a moment to zoom out from the red clay of the Patanjali Stadium and examine the wider global meaning behind this monumental victory now here. Professional tennis is a deeply global sport but has long been dominated by towering European and American players. Players from Southeast Asia have often faced severe systemic disadvantages ranging from lack of elite coaching infrastructure to the logistical nightmare of traveling constantly across the globe to compete on professional tours at the highest level. For a player from the Philippines to not only compete, but to completely dominate and humiliate a top 35 player at a premier event like the Italian Open represents a monumental paradigm shift tennis. Alexandra Eala is shattering massive glass ceilings with every single swing of her racket. She is forcing the international tennis community to see the Philippines not just as a passionate fan base that loves the sport, but as a legitimate and dangerous breeding ground for world-class tennis talent now. Young girls in Manila, Cebu, and Davao are confidently picking up tennis rackets today because they see themselves in Alexandra Eala now. They witness her fierce determination, unapologetic ambition, and unwavering pride in her heritage as a competitor. When Eala speaks brilliantly in post-match interviews, she seamlessly switches to Tagalog Live, deeply thanking her compatriots for endless, passionate, unwavering support. She fully understands the heavy weight of the flag she carries. And rather than letting it crush her spirit, she transforms it into unlimited high-octane fuel. She plays with fiery spirit of a nation that has always punched far above its weight class internationally. As the sun sets slowly over ancient ruins of Rome, casting long dramatic shadows across red clay of the Internazionale Biennale d'Italia, the dust finally settles on what becomes one of the most remarkable and shocking performances of the 2026 WTA season worldwide today now. Wang Xinyu, a phenomenal player with a very bright future, was simply caught in the path of a Category 5 hurricane today here. She was beaten severely by a player who executed a flawless tactical game plan with cold, calculated precision of a veteran champion style. The statistics will forever tell the story of this match on paper. 7 breaks of serve, 0 double faults, 62% of second serve points won. But those cold statistics do not capture the sheer awe of watching a 20-year-old prodigy step fully and completely into her terrifying potential. They do not capture the loud cracking sound of her heavy top-spin forehand echoing off the marble statues of the stadium. They do not capture the look of absolute, unbreakable resolve in her dark eyes. Alexa has officially arrived. The bitter heartbreak of Auckland has been brutally avenged. The hard lessons of the grinding ITF circuit have been deeply learned. The agonizing sacrifices made in Spain have borne massive fruit. The rest of the draw in Rome, and indeed the rest of the entire professional tennis world, is officially on the highest possible alert. The Pearl of Philippine tennis is not just here to participate in the tournament and gain experience. She is here to conquer it entirely. The Gladiator Arena has a terrifying new champion, and her total absolute domination has only just begun. Listen closely to the roar of the crowd. Remember the name perfectly. Alexandra Eala is writing history with fire, one flawless, destructive victory at a time.